there's one final thing I wanted to touch on with you here today, Trey, and obviously all eyes Monday Night Football here tonight, the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Cleveland Browns. Big Ben, his final game, more than likely at home, and really looking at his legacy with the Steelers, I wanted to ask the question, because I do think that he will be, but do you think that he'll be a first ballot Hall of Famer in Canton? What is his legacy going to be when it's all said and done here after this season with the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Well, for most of us, when we think of Hall of Fame, we think of longevity and consistent excellence. And he's been off this year. You know what? Peyton Manning went 9-17 his last year in terms of touchdowns and interceptions. He did win the Super Bowl, but he went 9-17 that last year. So sometimes when it falls off rather quickly. I think Ben's going to the Hall of Fame, and I think it's probably going to be a first ballot guy. He was a part of 2 Super Bowl winning teams, went to 3. Obviously, the first one he wasn't, didn't contribute much in that 21-10 win over the Seahawks in Super Bowl 40. But in Super Bowl 43, he brought them back down, 23-20 in the fourth quarter. There was a holding penalty on that drive, got him down there and hit Santonio Holmes twice with perfect throws. One that he dropped, and the next one, which was a much more difficult catch that he made with the toe drag to beat those guys 27-23, got them to another game where they lost Super Bowl 46 to the Packers, 31-25. Side note, still the only 31-25 score in NFL history. To me, Ben is – the numbers are the numbers. And, we always talk about the class of 83, the draft class of 83 quarterbacks, where 6 were taken in the first round, and people sort of mythologize that class. Well, half of those guys were not good. Tony Eason, Todd Blackledge, Ken O'Brien. I mean, Ken O'Brien was decent. Todd Blackledge and Tony Eason were not good at all. So it was really 3 Hall of Famers, like Jim Kelly, Dan Marino, and John Elway. You look at the class of 2004, Phillip Rivers, Ben Roethlisberger, and Eli Manning. I think they're pretty similar in terms of the production. And I think that all 3 of those quarterbacks will be in the Hall of Fame one day. And I know Eli's going to be this weird litmus test, and I understand it because if he doesn't have those 2 runs, he's probably never going to get in. But he does have those 2, and I think eventually I've heard people refer to the voting block from the Northeast and the Hall of Fame as the East Coast Mafia, and I think eventually they will find a way to sweep him in to the Hall of Fame. And I have no problem with that. I think it's going to be a really interesting test because, you could make the argument that it's like, okay, he's really good, but was he a Hall of Famer? Like there's a Hall of Very Good, and then there's the Hall of Fame. He's a Hall of Fame broadcaster, that's for sure. I'm looking forward to seeing the Manning cast tonight, but the other part of it is a little dicey, so we'll see.
Well, the one thing I always go back on when I was a teenager watching Ben Roethlisberger, what frustrated me the most watching him, versus the team that I supported was how often pressure would get around him and he would somehow elude, shake it off, and then throw. I mean, his versatility and just like not even as an athletic guy, but just as a physical specimen was unbelievable. And that's always going to be something that I do remember. I'll never forget 2005, watching Big Ben take the Steelers to the Super Bowl after beating the Broncos in the AFC Championship game in Denver. We'll never forget that game, but a big moment for Jerome Bettis and for Ben Roethlisberger against the Seattle Seahawks. So, obviously a lot of things to touch on.